Good evening and welcome to another edition of Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. I'm Jenny Bernard, your host. As always, you can catch me right here each and every day, Monday through Friday, from 5 to 6 p.m. Tell a friend to tell a friend that Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil is on the air. You know what we do here. We talk business, legal, social, finance, whatever affects you in this community, we will talk about it. Most of all, we talk politics. Politics is everything, and everything, especially in the city of Memphis, is politics. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I welcome you in. I look forward to talking to you each and every day. The weather is changing up, and believe me, I had to make a visit to the doctor today, and I can see nothing but blur. That year had passed by, and I had to go and get my eyes checked again, and they dilated and did some other things. And believe me, it's been like a fog all day long after I left the doctor, and I came here and took me one of those naps for a few hours, and thinking that when I got enough to do this show, the fog, the would be over. My eye being dilated. Still, yeah, I managed to figure out. I've been doing these for so long. So these keys, I pretty much figure out what the keys are, but the thing is, it's just a fog dilated, as they say. But they didn't do nothing to my mouth. It's probably my wife would say they probably should have did something to your mouth as well. But she was telling me don't do the show today. But I said, well, I want to do it, and I did figure out by doing this every day to talk to you, I kind of figure out the key that I should have pushed, and I did. So we here. I just wanted you uh, to know that if you would like to call in and talk about what we're going to deal with just for today, and I may not be long, you can call me at 901 288 5779. 901 288 5779. You're welcome to go on the timeline and leave whatever comments that you may have desire or whatever. And I welcome you if you are a candidate and you want to put your name out there, what you're running for. The people will see it, but I may not be able to figure it out by looking at this screen here. And this screen is real small when it comes to your comments. And I got to figure out, get with my tech guy and see if we can blow the fonts up little larger where I can see this. Yeah, we getting to that point. I'm good. Eye check was fine, but I just don't like that dilating when they dilate your eyes. And I know many of you go to the dentist, not the dentist, but to the eye doctor once a year. And that's the sad thing about it. I thought I still had some months to go, but another year has come and gone when I had to go back to that eye doctor. And boy, time is passing by. Can I get an amen to that? Somebody know what I'm talking about. Time is flying by before you know it. I still can remember playing football for Douglas High School many years ago at Firestone Stadium, at Halle Stadium, at Crump Stadium. But those days are far gone. Those seasons, as I often say, the seasons. will come and go. And this one thing you have to realize, and I learned here not recently, but I knew it, but I did when the season was gone because I have been a person all of my life, have been willing and able to serve in many, many different capacities, whether it be in the church, whether it be an organization, whether it be in business. I have done it. I'm qualified to do what I do here. But most haven't been down the journey in these seasons of 73 seasons that God has allowed me to be here and do things and been on this journey for this length of time. And I'm grateful because He said three scores and ten uh, if you're obedient. But so far, He has given me extra three for trying to do what I need to do and to serve in a capacity as a pastor for over 32 years, up and down the highway, you name it. Uh, I've been there and done that in cities as it relates to the connectional church. And now I'm sitting back and enjoying and looking at what we did as young ministers back in the day and traveling and listening to. It's more about, not about service. It's about gratitude and it's about being paid. It's about what you wear. It's about what you drive. It is what it is. But the question becomes, are you really getting what you need spiritually from the church? Uh, some people don't want to talk about it. But see, whatever on this journey that I think is necessary and being prayerful, before I talk to you today, I'm prayerful every time I come on here. Sometimes we make mistakes. I posted something and some of my members corrected me, my members, but my friends on Facebook corrected me. I saw a video. I thought the video was here locally and I posted it. But I have no problem at all if I post something and it was not in this city, but it was in another city. And as I looked and observed it, and that's the thing about it. If you don't know it, you have to be careful as it relates to your friends and know what city they are in and what they are talking about. You assume that it's in Memphis, but you have to look at it, and read, and you assume that it's in Memphis because all hell is breaking loose in Memphis all the time, whether it's political, social, whatever, and you see it out here. You can assume as you look at it and assume that it's here in Memphis. But anyway, I stand corrected. I removed that. It was in another city. Same chaos that we have in Memphis. It's chaos all over this country, uh, from the White House to the State House to the city council, the city mayor, county mayors, and to the school board. And we're going to talk about it for a little while. And y'all be patient with me today. Like I said, I'm sitting here talking to you, and this screen is a blur, and everything seems to be, and is rather, a blur because my eyes are still haven't recovered from being dilated. Like I said, I'm Jennings Bernard. I'm your host on this show that we call Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. Now, I just want to say this and get you to understand. If you don't understand it, the people who are in power right now, whether it be in the school board, and we're going to talk about the school board because the school board thinks you are a fool. They think you don't know better because they say that when you know better, you're supposed to do better. But you're not doing better because you're still re-electing us as school board members when you know we are messing up. But yet they'll tell you, oh, guess what? From the city council, county commission, all over, they'll tell you, oh, we got it together now. This news conference that they have, and the individual board member who was the spokesperson, please shut up and sit down somewhere. Sit down. Everybody know who you are. In my opinion, I've been reading uh, what the comments are, what you're saying. People either calling you a liar and know that you know better, but you're recovering and you're trying to get reelected, but you believe that the people in the city of Memphis, and some have been called that, some people believe that the people of Memphis is stupid because we keep doing the same thing over and over, and I guess expecting a different result. You know what they said that is? That's insanity. But because you do it, the politicians in this community believe that they can tell you anything and you would believe it. History has shown in Memphis that you know what they're doing is wrong, but sometimes you continue to reelect. Well, this is an opportunity for you to not fall into that situation where people believe and they say, what is wrong with the people in Memphis when it comes down to the most violent city in America? And we know that. Things have not changed. Things are still the same, other than the task force being here and the crime is lower. The people are going to still commit crime. And I look and see people being shot. Uh, saw where a mother was shot uh, by a child. Why is it that anyone, a grown person, have a gun in their car and would not secure that gun from the children? Because the children at that point don't realize that it's not a toy. If they pick it up and pull it trigger, you can't take the bullet back. For years, being in law enforcement, I know to secure the gun, I know to have the safety on the gun. When I was little, and when my children, excuse me, was little, and I came home from work, the first thing I did, I took that at that time 357 Magnum, and then we laid on to the 40. I took the bullets out of those guns. I had a lock box. I would I would lock it, secure it. The bullets would be in one part of it, not in the gun. That's just in case. And the boys knew that that was something they did not play with. They were taught never to put your hands on that gun or any part of that safe to even fool it because this was not a toy. And sometimes they would ask me, and they would ask me rather about it. And I would sit down and explain to them the gun being empty, made sure that the chamber were empty. Understand that a semi-automatic weapon will fire without the magazine in it if that is a bullet left in the chamber. I've always been told and trained that you always look into that barrel. If you got a revolver, you can spin it around and see that there's no bullets in it. If you could take that semi-automatic, pull the thing back, you can look up in it and you can see if there's any ammo in it. Or sometimes you can take that little pinky finger and you can stick it up there and make sure that there's no uh, ammo in there. Because for many years, from the Marine Corps to the Sheriff's Department, uh, I've always been noticed and make sure that there was nothing in the chamber. A lot of people have uh, committed suicide, not knowing that that uh, chamber had a round in it. So I'm taking time to say this to you. Please secure the weapon from these children. Children accidentally shooting others because they thought it was okay, it was a toy. Brothers have shot brothers, brothers have shot sisters, sisters have shot brothers. Why? Simply because the responsibility lies not on the child as a child, but it lies on the parent. And here we are right now. Uh, Children will be motherless because someone did not secure the weapon. So, just a word to you to make sure that you secure your weapon before the children end up fooling around with it and hurting somebody. But I want to get back to the school board and all of this pomp and circumstance, all of this fanfare to try to convince you that, oh, we know what we're doing, excuse me. And they don't know what they're doing. They'll have 8 years in some cases to get it right, but they can't get it right. But yet they're going to have a news conference. And all of these folks here want to come back and lie to you. Every one of those elected officials, from Steve Cohen to anybody else that got on that stage and in a news conference, all you was introduced, but you have been in the position for almost 30 years and nothing has changed in the 9th Congressional District. Steve Cohen could barely walk up to the stage, but greed, that political power, he still wanted to hoodwink you. And you've been hoodwinked for 30 years. And when it comes to the 9th Congressional District, I can say that I was never hoodwinked. From day one, I've never supported Steve Cohen because I know he's a clown as it relates to me, in my opinion. He's a clown that actually manipulated the 9th Congressional District, which the majority of African Americans have been manipulated by Steve Cohen for almost 20 or 30 years plus. You've been manipulated because you believe in what he was saying. And for those 30 pieces of silver that most, but not all, received politically to get you out there, to help him to manipulate a district for almost 30 years, you're no better than he is. And really, I ask people all the time, tell me what Steve Cohen has done for the 9th Congressional District. Not for certain individuals, but as a district as a whole. Not only him, but for anybody who served. I always ask the question, in the 8 years, what have you done in your district to make a difference to the people in your district? No one can actually give me an answer. What have you done since you've been going up and down the highways for 20, 30 years in Nashville that you can actually see something that you've done in your district? And nobody seemed to want to answer that question. Everybody says Steve Cohen has been a good congressman, but when I asked him, tell me what he has done in this length of time. Now, you know it's about power when it comes to Steve Cohen. You know it's about money when it comes to Steve Cohen because You can barely walk, but you still want to go to Nashville. To Washington in a scooter. You're scooting around in Washington, D.C. How effective can you be by on a scooter? No one to take you serious. I stopped taking you serious when you first ran, and I knew you as a state senator, but you really did not toe the line when you got on TV with a Kentucky Fried Chicken box, facing the world. You acting like you eating chicken. I was done with you really then. But yet, all of these people that was in that on that stage being introduced, I couldn't do nothing but shake my head because all of you to me, united not as a group to tell the people what you have done for them. You united, in my opinion, to hoodwink the people, to continue to have them to vote for you, to put you in the office for the power. That's what you did for the money. And all of those guys and women that got up there and say, "Oh, we got it now. We want to work with you. We want to communicate with you. We want you to be a part of it." Well, why all of a sudden now, when you think that people have woken up and understand that you gotta go. Now they want to take you out of your position. You want to show a united front. To me, it pisses me off, and I have to say it like that, when it's so obvious as it relates to what you're doing and how each of you, the constituents, you are manipulating them as a representative. You think you can get together, hold a news conference, and because you think that the people don't know, don't understand, we're going to show you in this upcoming election. And if we don't show you, it will be true to what I'm saying to you, that the representative think you are stupid. How can you argue about the state really taking over? Because the powers that be have ran the school board, they have ran it into the ground. When you go back to a previous administration, when you get Dr. Fagan who tried to change it, yes, you ran her out of town. You put the new superintendent in. What was his first act to show you what type of individual he is? And I call the name Roger Richmond. What was his first act when he got in there as interim? That made sure that something that his wife was not going to receive. His first order of business was to make sure that she received it. With that nepotism, favoritism, he took care of his wife. So anybody else in a position of power politically, if you did that, you would be crying, you would be hollering. But the forensic audit, I believe, will tell the tale. The forensic audit, from the result and the thing, in my opinion, what I'm hearing, some people should go to jail. And sometimes you have to make sure you push it hard enough that the people will understand. See, now you look at the transit authority and all the people who have manipulated the money, uh, misappropriated the money, but nobody has been indicted. Nobody has been arrested for misappropriating the money, for maladministration as it relates to you being the trustee over the money and you misappropriated it, you're stealing. And if you, any of my listeners and watching now, on your job or any position that you deal with money, if you misappropriate it, the people are going to send you to jail. But why is it that the politicians seem to get away with deficit? previous administration, the new administration, that is your baby now. And the record would show that it's still the money has been misappropriated. And some people don't have the sense to sit back and say, I must look into this because now it is my problem. And once you let the previous administration get away with having a deficit, now it's your problem. But the political good old boy system is one administration covering for the other. And ladies and gentlemen, before it's all said and done, if it's done right, this ain't the first time. You know, we often talk about politicians who have gotten caught or this happened. Don't think for Edmund Ford Jr. or anything he pled guilty to that he was the only one. History has shown that there has been many who have misappropriated. Many have gone to jail because of that. But nobody has been arrested on the misappropriation of the transit authority. 3 different heads have misappropriated, took spa trip, vacation, first class flying, and nothing happened. See, we don't hold and we don't tell them that we are not pleased with what's going on so they can continue to do what they're doing. But then they get together, act like they was introducing a president. Oh, I want to say this is so-and-so, congressman, uh, this is so-and-so here, state rep. What is all that about? We know who they are if they are elected. The problem is, what are you going to do about the problem? You're going to say, well, we got a plan. What is your plan? Are we going to do this? And that's something that you should have done a long time ago. You can't say you're going to do it now. It's too late. You got to go. We need new people there. And I say to you, anybody that's on that school board should not have your support. There were 3 at first who stood against the firing of Dr. Fagan, but then they turned around and before this election come up, they put Roderick Richmond as the permanent superintendent. Now I would say to you, and I said it many times, Dr. Fagan had 9 months. Roderick Richmond, you've had over a year. Let's see what the children can do. I look forward to the test that will tell you and what the children are doing on the level. If it's not improved at all, Dr. Roderick Richmond, you gotta go. Because if you took Dr. Fagan out in 9 months and children was doing better, but if you had a whole year and they're not doing any better, you gotta go. See, from the point of view that I've been around politics a long time, I spoke many occasions truth to power. I called out people on the radio because they weren't doing anything. But yet, they managed to put the 30 pieces of silver in place in the grassroots community of the so-called leaders in the grassroots community, and they go out and hoodwink you in believing that everything's gonna be all right. Well, when will it be all right? It hasn't been all right in 20, 30 years. Not in the 9th Congressional District, not in District 7, District 8, Position 1, none of those positions are better. Look at your community. It would tell you and will reflect to you the representation you're getting in your district. So when they stand up and tell you this, oh, we want to work with you now. Why? You didn't want to work with us. Now you see the community is upset. or give us a chance. We gave you 8 hours. I mean, 8 years in some cases. We're giving you 4 years in some cases. And then some of these new school board members haven't had 2 years. And you see, they're messing up already. The question is going to be not only those 6 at the school board. The question will be, what are you going to do now? And if you re-elect some of the people that you know have acted fool, clown, did not represent this here well, didn't represent you well, understand this. If they don't represent themselves well, you know they're not representing you well. And we have to get control of this community. And I've said it, if I have to say it over and over, all by myself, I will say it. Because the community as a whole is important to me because I live in this community. And I want the best for this community. But yet, sometimes when your blessing comes, your eyes are closed to the blessing that's coming to you in your season because you've been hoodwinked. You've been persuaded to do not the right thing, but the wrong thing, and you don't even know it. But you have woken up. You believe it now. And now you need to make them pay the cost for doing nothing for you in this community. 901-288-5779 if you wish to give us a call. But if not, I do appreciate you tuning in and being a part of this program. You ought to be upset that representatives had the audacity to get together, hold a news conference, and try to persuade you that they got the answer now. If you got the answer now, why didn't you have the answer? What was you doing during the time that you had to get an answer? What was you doing? You were just drawing the check. You're just getting your 15 minutes of fame. What was you doing? Why was you sitting back and doing nothing? But now you are wanting to be responsible. See, every one of those individuals in that school board should be voted out and should never be in the position to be elected ever again because you had your chance. Get out the way and stop allowing politicians to serve 20 and 30 years. Never had a real job. And if they did have a real job, they turn around and stop making a career out of the real job. They wanted to make a career out of the political job because there's more money under the table, in my opinion, than they getting paid on their job. If it wasn't, why would you sit somewhere for 30 years doing the same thing and no results are coming from your action? But the people know. I believe that. The people know, the people understand what is going on. And it's your opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to step up to the plate. No matter what they saying, no matter how they say they uniting together. And we're going to do, all of you who are supposed to be uniting to get your cronies, to get you back in the office, to hook-wink these people over and over again. Memphis ain't going to change under your leadership. Memphis is not going to change until you get some real people in here that know about how to stop the situation from taking from Peter to pay Paul. People who know how to budget, really know how to budget. But see, temptation is a, you know what? temptation. I'm gonna block this. All these folks calling in here. I know y'all get these spams when you're trying to take care of business, but I get sick of these spams. But you know, when you try to unite it against the people, you're not for the people. You're against the people. And if you want to be an elected official, you need to get some common sense. And you ought to be able to serve the people. Because if you don't, Memphis will still be the same. Wake up, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I got to say about that. But I'm going to continue to say it because people know better. But sometimes 30 pieces of silver, bad influence, will not allow them to do better because they have got a hook wing into the system. And we're going to be in trouble. We already are in trouble as a city. But this thing is going to get much worse before you know it. It's going to get worse until you wake up. Let's send these individuals that have served you the last 8 years or 4 years or 2 years and haven't done anything. Send them a message. And I hear people that's talking here on the county commission, oh, I got the experience. What experience have you had? What have you done? It's time for you to go. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you listening to me for this period of time, but my eyes are still out of focus because of the dilating of my eyes today. So I'm going to cut this short, but we will be back on tomorrow. Just remember what I said. Trust everyone, but do not trust the devil inside of them. You take care. Share this video. As always, I say subscribe to it, and I thank you for those who are subscribing. I thank you for the thousands of views that we've had in the months after the month. Share this. We can unite from this program and others like this to make a difference because you got the greatest voice now than you ever had by way of Facebook and Instagram, by way of your website. And I want you to go to my website as well, MemphisRealTalk.com. You can go and use that same MemphisRealTalk.com on Spotify, X, as well as YouTube. And we want you to subscribe to those so we can make a difference together. If you subscribe to it, other will listen, other will watch, and you share. So keep in mind, I got 5,000 close to it. I have to check it every day because some of you get pissed off because of things I say and you unfriend me. That's fine, but there's a whole lot of people waiting to be friends. And I can verify that. I can see that every day from February the 1st to March the 2nd. Over 82,000 views have been watched. 82,000. And I appreciate every one of you for watching and sharing this. But let us not be fooled. If we pass this along and we take the incumbent out, see, I have no sympathy for incumbents because your work speaks for yourself. The work tells the truth about you. And you standing on the stage trying to convince people that you're going to do better. The question becomes, why haven't you done better? Because the people are looking for you being the representative of that district. I'm going to keep pushing. Some say to me, Bernard, you want everyone, I want every one of the incumbents who have been in a power in what position they hold, and this city is in this shape, I hold you accountable. Because people don't know how to network. Let me say this before I leave. That small mind that you have, that you just think you have to work in politics just for the people in your district, and you don't know how to use the power to cross over to get other people to work with you. And that's why Memphis is in this shape that we're in, because we don't know how to work together. We just want to hold a position year after year. Let's stop this. God bless you. You take care. I look forward to you when I can see you on tomorrow. You all take care.